Hello everyone, I'm glad you could join me. Today I'm going to show you how to make this postage stamp card using the Wonderful World Designer Series paper that is in the Celebration catalog. And let me show it to you. I'll show you the papers that we're going to be using from the Designer Series paper. So during Celebration, which is going on now through August 31st, if you make a purchase through Stampin' Up! Of $100, you will be able to get the Wonderful World stamp set and Designer Series paper for free. This is really nice paper. I have been using it on several projects and I'm really happy with it. When I had first seen it, I thought it was very pretty. Wasn't sure if I was going to get it though. And then I did make a purchase of $100 and I had already purchased some of the other, or I'd already gotten for free some of the other items in Celebration catalog. So I went ahead and bought it and I'm really glad that I did. So the paper that we're going to be using from the Designer Series paper, we're going to use this paper, which is this right here. And we're going to cut the postage stamps, if you will, from this paper, which has a number of widely spaced flowers. And here's the sheet of paper. So I am using actually it's not, it used to be called Postage for You. It's not called that anymore. It's called the Postage Stamp Punch. It's the exact same punch. It's just called by a different name now. So this is what we're going to use to punch out our supposed postage stamps. So I'm using this paper and I'm going to, let me see, I think I want to cut it from this end because I like these flowers up here better. But I've already punched out the flowers I think I'm going to use for the card. But I'm going to show you just, you know, it's pretty intuitive. So you'll just put your punch in, line it up, and just punch it out. And there you have it. So it looks like a postage stamp. So you would just do the same thing with any of the other flowers that you happen to like. We'll do this yellow one right here. So let me just show you something. All right, so for this one, we had a little bit of the flower from above it. So all I did when that happened is I just put it back in the punch a tiny bit to where I could see the little bit from the other flower and just punched it. And that removed it. So now it's not there, but I do have a little bit of an extra piece right here in this corner. I'm just gonna snip it off. That's it. So that's it. So if you you can, what I did was I punched out a whole bunch of them because it comes with 2 sheets like that. And so I punched out a whole bunch, and so I used up the entire sheet. Now the reverse side of that is this side, which is kind of nice if you're just looking for a simple background design, but I wanted to use the flowers, so you're trying to back over. So I punched out all the flowers. Just love them. All right, so let's get started with the process. The card base I'm using, or that I have used on my card, is Orchid Oasis. Cut it 5.5 by 8.5 and score at 4 1/4. Use my bone folder to give it a crisp edge. Then I have this piece of Designer Series paper, Wonderful World Designer Series paper, cut at 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm going to adhere it now to the card base. And you're going to see this is going to come together really quickly, and that's what I love about this card. It's so pretty. It looks very elegant, but it's not complicated. All right, then we have the next two layers. We have another piece of Orchid Oasis cut at 5 inches by 2.5. I'm going to tack this down as well. I mean, you can do it whatever order you want. Doesn't matter. And then for the next piece, which I'm not going to tack down right now, but for the next piece, it's a piece of basic white, cut just a little bit smaller, right? A little bit smaller than the Orchid Oasis, and it's cut at 4 7/8 by 2 3/8. So as you can see, that's just a smidge smaller than the Orchid Oasis layer. So you get a small border all the way around. All right, but we're not going to tack it down just yet. Now I want to, okay, the other part of this that I need to do is, all right, so on my, let me just show you, so I layered these pieces onto a slightly larger piece of cardstock, coordinating cardstock. This one was Polished Pink, Orchid Oasis, and this one was Pear Pizzazz. I'm going to do that one instead in So Saffron. Before I tack them down, though, let's do a little bit of stamping. In the postage stamp image, there are two images that I'm going to use from this one particular stamp set, Ranunculus Romance, and it has this postage stamp image, and it has what I think this is probably a postage stamp image. It might not be, but I'm still using it. And then another image I'm going to use is from Quiet Meadow, and this is not a postage stamp image, but I liked that it says love on it, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that. I'm just using for ink, I'm using the Memento Tuxedo Black. Okay, and let's see, I'm going to use, let's see, here's my stamp right here. I think I will stamp it at, let me see, I think I'll do this one, and I think I'll do it across the top. How cool is that? Now, one of the things that I did differently on the original one is I did a little stamping off. Okay. Now, for this one, I think I will do a little stamping off. So I'm just going to stamp off there. And I'm going to put this one at the bottom. Okay, so it's a little bit lighter. And then for this one, I'm going to do the word love. And I'm going to do it sideways. You know how postage stamps sometimes have sayings or words on them, and you know the image goes one way and the word goes another? So let's see. I'm going to do that. Like that. That was easy, right? All right, so now what we can do is we can tack down our little postage stamps onto the card base. And I'm just using liquid glue. I'm not going to be using any dimensionals. Just everything is just going to be tacked down. So you can either use, and this is So Saffron cardstock, you can either use the liquid glue, which is my favorite because it has a little bit of forgiveness, meaning that when you put it down, it gives you a couple of seconds of time to be able to move it around on the cardstock before it adheres. Whereas if you use the Stampin' Seal, once it hits the paper, that's it. It's not going anywhere. There's nothing wrong with that if you're, happen to have a good eye on it. Now what we'll do is we will tack it down onto the piece of white cardstock. Just want to put it on here and I want to have them sort of evenly spaced. So I'm laying them down here so I know kind of where I want to glue them down. So it's going to be like that. All right, we'll just start on this end for no particular reason. Again, I'm just going to glue it down, no dimensionals. Now, if you want to pop yours up, put it on dimensionals. I just wanted to make this a quick and easy card. I mean, not that dimensionals are difficult, they're not, but I just wanted to make it quick and easy, as few supplies as possible. Make it a pretty card, but an easy card for even beginners to put together. Now we can adhere it to the card base. And center it so that you have a little bit of border, Orchid Oasis border all around the edges. That's it. That's the sum total of the front. Now we can do the inside. So for the inside, 5 1/4 by 4. And I think what I'll do is, let me see. I think I will, let's not bring in any more stamp sets. I think I'll just say, just for you. Keep it simple. Let's see, just for you. And this time, I think I'm going to use the Orchid Oasis ink. All right, and then the other, I want to put the design on this, and let's see, oh yeah. So the Wonderful World stamp set, and what I want to do is just to do a little masking off of this image, because I want to just take the very top of it, the bachelor button. So I'm just going to take a Post-it note to mask off. Move this over. Okay, and so all I'm going to do is just take the Post-it note and cover the part that I don't want on my card. Just going to ink it up, remove the Post-it note, You know what, I'm going to stamp off a little bit. And then I'm going to put it right in the corner. Just so I have a little image in the corner. Give it a little back rub. I didn't want to rub it from the front on the white cardstock in case I have any ink on my fingers, so I turn it over onto the clean paper and give it a back rub. And there you have it. That is the card. Didn't take much time at all, did it? I mean, it's just a little bit more than 15 minutes, and it's a really pretty card. I hope you like it. I have made a couple of other cards using that paper, but this one I use that same postage stamp technique, but for the paper, the Designer Series paper, I use the brushstroke specialty Designer Series paper. That's in the annual catalog, and then the Texture Chic Designer Series paper as well. So I'm going to do a tutorial on this card, and then another one that I use with the Wonderful World Designer Series paper is a double gatefold card with a belly band. So let me take the belly band off. So it's almost like you just fold it back, and here's the inside. I use some triangles and then set a square in the middle, but I set it in the diamond pattern. Kind of nice, huh? And then, so when you take your card, then you would fold it back, right? Like that. And again, I put the love stamp on there, made a belly band for it. I'll be doing a video on this as well. I just think this paper, Wonderful World Designer Series paper, is just so pretty, and I think I'm going to end up using it a lot. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you like my cards, if you like this one, I'm going to put the link for the supplies that you would need to make this card. I'll do that in the description below. And I hope to see you next time for my next tutorials, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.